8.5. Model and solve multiplication equations. Essential questions. How can you use models to solve multiplication equations? You can use algebra tiles to model and solve equations that involve multiplication. Algebra tiles. The X tile and the 1 tile. To model an expression involving multiplication of a variable, remember this word variable is going to be your letter, whatever it may be. Can use more than one X tile. For example, to model the expression 4x, you can use 4 X tiles. So each of these tiles is going to represent X or 1x. So that would be 4x. Remember, here's your variable, and here's your coefficient. Investigate. Math board and algebra tiles are what you're going to need. Tennis balls are sold in cans of 3 tennis balls each. Daniel needs 15 tennis balls for a tournament. Model and solve the equation 3x equals 15 to find the number of cans x that Daniel should buy. A. Draw 2 rectangles on your math board to represent the 2 sides. So let's add this. We're just going to draw a line between the 2 sides. B. Use algebra tiles to model the equation. Model 3x in the left rectangle and model 15 in the right triangle. So, we're going to model 3x equals 15. Remember, the x tiles are the big ones, so we're going to have 1, 2, 3 x tiles. And then over here, we're going to have 15. Okay, so 3 x tiles on the left and 15 1 tiles on the right. B is finished. C. There are 3 x tiles on the left of your model. To solve the equation by using the model, you need to find the value of 1 x tile. To do this, divide each side of your model into 3 equal groups. So you're getting this number from the coefficient. So 3 equal groups. 1, 2, 3. And we need to do the same thing with the other side. 1, 2, 3. C is done. When the tiles on each side have been divided into 3 equal groups, how many 1 tiles are in each group on the right side? Okay, let's look at the right side. So we're looking right here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiles in one group. Write the solution. X equals 5. So Daniel should buy 5 cans of tennis balls. So how to check this, you would do 5 cans of tennis balls times 3 tennis balls in every can is 15. So you did it correctly. Okay, explain how you would use your model to check your solution. So you would use algebra tiles to model the equation, then replace each x tile with 5 1 tiles. If the solution is correct, both sides of the model should have the same number of 1 tiles. Number 2, describe how you could use algebra tiles to model the equation 6x equals 12. So you would place 6 x tiles on the left, and then 12 1 tiles on the other side, on the right. Number 3, think smarter. What would you do to solve the equation 5x equals 35? So you would need to get x on a side all by itself, and remember, when we have a coefficient and a variable right next to each other, they are multiplied together, so we have to do the opposite. So we need to divide by 5. So we would say divide by both sides by 5. Okay. Make connections. You can also multiply equations by drawing a model to represent algebra tiles. Let a rectangle represent x. Let a square represent 1. So that's just saying the x tiles and then the 1 tiles. Solve the equation 2x equals 6. So let's start off with putting a. So we're starting off with putting an equal sign. So that will show us the middle of the equation. We're going to have 2x on this side and 6 on this side. So 2x, we need 2 big rectangles. Each of those equal x. Then we need 6 smaller 1 tiles. Okay? Now step 2 is find the value of 1 triangle. So we need to draw the same exact model in the second box to equal 2x equals 6. So divide each side of the model into 2 equal groups because that's the number here. So we're going to circle 1, 2. And we're going to do the same for the other side because it's an equation. 1 and 2. Step 3. Draw a model of the solution. There is 1 rectangle because 1 equals x equals, and then what's your answer to x? Well, that would be 1, 2, and 3. Because one group has 3 1 tiles inside of it. So there are 3 squares on the right side. So the solution 2x equals 6 is x equals 3. Okay? Sharon show model and solve the equation by using algebraic tiles. Number 1, 4x equals 16. We're going to divide both by 4, and we're going to get x equals 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4. 3x equals 12. Dividing both by 3 to get x on the side by itself, x equals 4. Number 3, 4 equals 4x. 4 divided by 4, 4x divided by 4. So here we're going to get 1 equals x. That can be rewritten as x equals 1. Number 4, 3x equals 9. Divide by 3. X equals 3. 2x equals 10. Divide by 2. X equals 5. 15 equals 5x. Divide by 5. So we get 3 equals x, and that can be rewritten as x equals 3. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and highlight your answers to make sure you have the right answers. And then now we're going to kind of jump back into drawing models. So 7 and 8 are both wanting you to draw a model. 4x equals 8. So we're going to put a equal sign because that reminds me that I need to have 2 sides. So 4x, we need 4 x tiles and 8 1 tiles. 8. Okay. Now I need to group them by how many x tiles there are. So there are 4 x tiles. So I'm going to put them in 4 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I need to do the same thing to the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4. X equals 2. Because there's 2 in 1 box. 3x equals 18 is number 8. We need 3 x tiles, and then we need 18 1 tiles. So now we're going to, once we have 3x on one side and 18 on the other, we're going to group them into groups of 1, 2, 3, because there's 3 x tiles. So 1, 2, 3. And then let's highlight one group and count how many are in one group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. X equals 6 is your answer. Number 9, explain the steps you use to solve a multiplication equation with algebra tiles. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do problem solving application at the bottom. This is explaining. So it says, number 9, communicate. Explain the steps you use to solve a multiplication equation with algebra tiles. So that is basically explaining how you did number 7 and number 8. This is a very lengthy answer, so I went ahead and I wrote it on the next page for you guys. Okay, I'm going to read it to you. I highlight. Draw rectangles to represent each side of the equation. It's your first step. Place algebra tiles in the rectangles to model each side of the equation. Divide each side into the same number of equal groups. The number of groups is the same as the number the variable is multiplied by. Look at one group on each side to find the solution. And there is no on your own. There's just practice homework 8.5.